Tears filled the courtroom as the mother who admitted to killing her baby daughter was found not guilty by reason of insanity following a 2-day bench trial.
As to count 1, aggravated manslaughter, the defendant is not guilty by reason of insanity. As to count 2, attempted murder in the first degree, the defendant is not guilty by reason of insanity. And as to count 3, attempted murder in the first degree, the defendant is not guilty by reason of insanity.
Moments after learning she would not be convicted, Precious Bland spoke briefly outside the courtroom.
God is good. This doesn't bring back my daughter. I'm thankful. I love my children.
State prosecutors tried to prove that this mother of 6 killed her 15-month-old because she told investigators her husband was cheating.
The voices and the COVID psychosis is a fabrication and an embellished story.
The judge didn't buy it.
That theory doesn't make sense to me, that she decided to do all the things that she did, going to all the neighbors, calling her family members, putting the kids in the water, all of it because she was angry due to some perceived infidelity.
Her lawyers argued Bland was overcome by the voices in her head and had a COVID-induced psychotic break.
Satan is a deceiver.
There's so much that we don't know about COVID, and this was, one of the first cases in the country to go to trial on COVID being in the defense to murder.
Bland spent 3.5 years behind bars before being released about a year ago. Now, after a judge cleared her of criminal responsibility in her daughter's death, she says she's focused on moving forward.
Just ready to get my life back together, my husband and my children, and just move forward.
All right. Shalom, shalom. Keepers of sheep. Brother Kashar. Back with another lesson. Lord's will. This video is edifying. All right. Before we begin, I'd like to first start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rikah HaKwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Shalom. And shalom to the hopeful elect. All right. And I haven't came up with a title, all right, for this lesson as of yet. But of course, this lesson is inspired through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakakwadash. All right. And as you can see, we will be making edification based off the clip played at the beginning of the video. All right. And so you have a Miami, this Miami mother, all right, a woman from Miami that basically she's accused of drowning her 15-month-old daughter, all right, found not guilty by reason of insanity. All right, this is something you don't see every day. All right, but it's it caught my attention because
Tears filled.
they're blaming this incident on the scamdemic. All right, the C word. All right, the C-19. All right, and it says Miami mother real quick. It's just a heading. It says Miami mother found not guilty by reason of insanity after drowning her 1-year-old daughter and stabbing her family. Lawyer claims she suffered a C-19 induced psychotic break. There is so much we don't know about C-19. This is what the lawyer said. All right, and this is wild, man. That now, of course, the scripture says never trust thine enemy. But now we're seeing the result of, these pestilence, all right, these plagues. All right, it's now, and maybe she's been having episodes, it didn't say, but now we're seeing the results of these pestilence and these plagues upon the earth, and it's driving people insane, literally. All right, so this could be the first of many, or this could just be, just could be her getaway, out of the situation, getaway free card. I'm not sure. But like I said, you don't see this every day, especially a so-called Negro woman. being found not guilty. And I've done many videos on situations like this before, where the so-called Negro woman, all right, or Latino or Native American woman have been just killing their children. All right, this is not the first incident, and it probably won't be the last. I'm pretty sure of it. But it's becoming now. We're having cases where they're being found not guilty. All right, and it just shows you that this place justifies wickedness. It justifies iniquity and sin, man. All right, and it just shows you that the so-called black woman, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American woman will do anything, all right, to get away, all right, to get away with sin, to get away with wickedness, all right. They'll do anything, say anything, all right. And this is an example. Even if she is insane, all right, they're all insane, all right, to a certain extent anyway. So I got a couple pre-sales, not a whole bunch, but I want to grab this account real quick. And in the book of 1 Kings, right? Yeah, I'm gonna grab this account in the book of 1 Kings real quick. And I start at verse 16. It's 1 Kings 3. And let's start at verse 16. Right. We're brothers are familiar with this account. Right, but I just want to touch on it real quick just to prove a point. All right. And it reads, it says, "Then came there 2 women that were harlots unto the king, and stood before him. And the one woman said, Salakia, and the one woman said, My Lord, O my Lord, I and this woman dwell in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass the 3rd day after that I was delivered, that this woman was delivered also." So they both had babies, 3 days apart. "And we were together. There was no stranger with us in the house, save we 2 in the house. And this woman's child died in the night because she overlaid it." Basically, she suffocated the child. Verse 20 says, "And she arose at midnight and took my son from beside me, while thine handmaid slept, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And when I arose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. But when I had considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son, which I did bear. And the other woman said, Nay, but the living is my son, and the dead is thy son. And this said, No, but the dead is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they spake before the king. Then said the king, The one saith, This is my son that liveth, and thy son is the dead. And the other says, Nay, but thy son is the dead, and my son is the living." All right, so, they're basically just going back and forth now. Saying, that's your dead son, and this is my living son, right? Making it hard for the king to, making it hard for Solomon to choose, right? To discern the situation. Verse 24, it says, "And the king said, Bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, Divide the living child in 2, and give half to the one and half to the other." So the king, this is his way of discerning whose child is who. All right, who the child belongs to. All right, because he wasn't really divide the child in 2, because that wouldn't make sense. All right, so this is his way of getting to the bottom of it. And the king said, Divide the living child into two, and and give half to the one and the half to the other. Then spake the woman, whose the living child was, unto the king, for her bowels yearn upon her son. And she said, O my lord, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. But the other said, let it be neither mine nor thine, but divided. So this is his way of, again, figuring it out. All right, and as you can tell, this child belongs to the woman who said, let it not be divided, because she loved the child that much that she would rather see the child live on with another, mother, so-called mother, all right, than it to be killed, right? And this, gave the king all the proof he needed, all right? And, that's why we need righteous rulers in the earth. We need true judges. We need kings, all right? We need true wisdom. We need our ways back to be able to discern situations like this, because here it is, this judge, he deemed this woman insane, all right, and gave her, a not guilty, plea or whatever. And, that's not righteous judgment. That's not righteous judgment according to the scriptures. Okay. That's why we need our ways back. Right. It says 27, then the king answered and said, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof. And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to do judgment. This is a powerful act, all right, by the king. This is a powerful lesson, man. Okay, and we should take from this lesson also. Okay, that of course, a harsh judgment may seem, it may seem like not the right thing to do at that time, but it reveals, all right, the truth of the matter, all right, or whatever the situation is. It reveals the it reveals what intentions, all right, or being hid, all right, motives, all right, things of that nature. Okay, because clearly, all right, the woman who shall die, she didn't care if the baby lived or died, right? So that's why she carried on the way she did. All right, while to cut the baby in half, that would be a harsh judgment. All right, it would be fair, or it would be just. All right, but again, it revealed the truth. All right, and a lot of times that's why the Lord judges us, the way that he does, because why? It reveals the truth. It reveals our iniquity, our sin. It reveals our true intentions, our motives, our heart desires. It reveals things that, you can't see on the outward, or that, the lips wouldn't tell. Okay. But yeah, this is, this is a terrible situation with the drowning of the 1-year-old, man. There's been a lot of drownings lately, right? I know, I've been seeing a lot of drownings lately, and it's been children, all right, ages 10 and under, right, in pools at that, right. I'm gonna get in the book of Sirach, also named is Ecclesiastes, all right, in the Apocrypha 39:28, it says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, all right, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made him. And while at the same time, this could be a spirit created for vengeance. This could be just judgment of the Lord, because, the Lord doesn't make any mistakes. All right, the Lord does all these things. So we don't know who that child was or what they did in their past life. And I'll grab this next precept and close out. All right, to back that up, this is Job 4:7. It says, remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? So, hey, that could have been that child's judgment ultimately, because the Lord works in mysterious ways. All right, and you see the lady, she got off. All right, so, hey, man. This is just to show you that we're coming into some wicked times, man. Okay? Where, the wicked are going to be able to do as they please and get off with it, man. Okay? Why? Because there are no righteous rulers. There are no true judges. All right? We're being judged by Esau, right? Man. So, hey, man, with that, once again, Lord will, this video is edifying. Until next time, I'd like to close out by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rekah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Shalom and shalom to the hopeful elect.